Welcome to Toffee TV. It is player ratings. Everton 0, Nottingham Forest 2, although it does say on the thumbnail, Nottingham Forest 0-0. I'm just so used to Everton games finishing 0-0 that sometimes I forget to do the add the goals onto the other team. Just abysmal. Just abysmal that today. I don't really know what to say. It was just absolutely well. I said it in me after match reaction, but I just can't sort of. I just don't understand how people are putting up with this. I really don't. I just don't understand how people are putting up with watching this football every single week. I just don't get it. I really don't. I just don't get how people think this is acceptable. Today, obviously, listen, don't get me wrong, Forest were flying. And to be honest, Forest could have won 4-0 today without an issue. I think we'd still be playing now. And we still wouldn't have scored. We were horrendous. We were absolutely horrendous. They played us at our own game in many ways. They are not too dissimilar to us in terms of style defensively. You know, when we had the ball, I watched them, and most of the time they had 5 men back, and then the whole midfield would get back, and they just got men behind the ball. But what they do is they just break so effectively. They really do. They break so effectively, and they punish you. To be fair, and the first goal was a really good indicator of that. Just a ball over the top. I don't know where Tarkowski had gone. I really don't. I've no idea where he'd gone. He left a big, massive space. Wood did brilliantly. The little 1-2 that he did was brilliant, and it was a great finish. To be fair, I thought when I watched it the first time, watched it in real time. I thought Pickford might have been just a little bit too far off his line. But when I've watched it back, Pickford is probably where he should be. Maybe because he came out a little bit, he might be sort of a little bit just in the wrong place. He's not set himself. But it's a great finish, to be fair, to Chris Wood, who is just showing again that he is a really good centre forward. A lot more physical and a lot more mobile than I think people give him credit for. But I don't know where Tarkowski was for that. And the second goal, Mykolenko, was just abysmal, to be fair. Just absolutely abysmal. Not the ball given to him by Decore, wasn't it? And it wasn't even under hit. I don't think it was even under hit. It was just and then he just seems to disappear. He just seems to completely disappear. They were really effective, and they could have gone on and got a couple more, to be honest. And it was just horrendous to watch. It was just horrendous because it doesn't matter how well the opposition do in many ways. It's what we do, and we can't break. I said this I think it was in my starting 11 because I didn't do the match preview. We've got to go and try and win the games of football. And I just don't see how we're going to do it. Again, we are putting our faith in this manager to beat basically Southampton, Leicester at home, who else? Southampton, yeah, and the other promoter team, Ipswich. We're putting basically those 3 wins, which would get us like 26 points. Another win, maybe, to get us to like 29 points, and then get like 7 draws or something. basically. And I personally, I just don't accept that. I don't personally accept that that's the best we can do. I just don't accept that. I just simply don't accept that that's the best an Everton team can do against the Nottingham Forest team. That when we played them at Goodison earlier on in the year, it was a very tight game. Don't get me wrong, but obviously we ended up winning 2-0. But for me, I can't accept that. That's where we are as a football club. That finishing 16th or 17th is acceptable. I think there's more. I just watched our team today, especially in the first half, play with 4-5-1, and then Brozier isolated, and the wide men are just like wing backs. They're not wide men really, apart from obviously, and Jai comes off the left and has a run. But we're just playing like the wing backs. They're wing backs. And listen, Forest are second in the league, and it's not about Forest, by the way. I know people go, they're second in the league. Well, so what? It's about what you do yourself. And we are dreadful. And if people keep on making apologies for this manager, then I don't know what you want. I don't know what people want. All I hear is people defending him. The apologists out there defending him. Is this what you want from your Everton team? Is this what you want going up against teams and going, we can't beat these? Or having this weird way of trying to beat them? It's not. I know people get this weird thing about, like, because of the motto and NSNO and all this, and going, that's not who we are anymore, and we can't. Well, what about just setting a team up to try and win a game of football? Is that really that hard? Is that really that hard to play at home and expect your team to not have a go? Now, I've seen Everton. Everton have scored 4 times at home in 4 games at home this season, and I've won three games of football. That to me is a disgrace. And I still hear people defending him. The manager shouldn't be anywhere near this football club. He shouldn't be anywhere near this football club. It's a point a game, draw every game nonsense. He shouldn't be near this football club. And until the fans start driving that point home, then nothing will change. He ain't going to sack himself. And I think the new owners are going to be a little bit cagey about it. And no one in the football club's going to drive it because they're all too worried about their own jobs. Well, Kevin Felwell's not going to be pushing for this fella to be sacked because he'll be too worried about himself being sacked. It's garbage. It's garbage to watch. Day to day, seen them from the start. You could see what they were trying to do. They can play with 6-7 men behind the ball and still have an attack. I watched us break with 2 men for some of this game. Are you telling? Honestly, are people telling me no one can do better than this fella? People can organise defences. Loads of managers can organise defences. The defenders aren't terrible. You can organise a defence. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change anything. You just keep it organised and add on to it. I just find it baffling. I find it baffling that he's under so little pressure from anyone. I really do. The media, I like Henry Winter. I had him on the show the other day coming out because we'd drawn 3 games. We all know ourselves as Evertonians that those 3 games are perfect for someone like Dyche. It's these games today that are the ones where you're at home and there's an expectation. Yeah, I get it. Forest are doing well. I understand that. But they're only doing well because their manager has set them up to be strong at the back and then have something going forward, having a counter-attack. You know, that's they weren't any better than us. They've got better players, don't get me wrong, in the final third. Not disputing that by any means. But they've organised at the back and gone, we're going to have a go. We're going to push forward. We're not going to be caught out. And this fella who's basically shit himself because of the games against Bournemouth and the game against Villa, being 2-0 up and blowing it. Well, that was on you because you can't see a game out. Not the players, you. Sorry, Sean Dyche, that was on you. Bournemouth was on you. Still don't care whether people think I've fed into that. That's on you. And today he had an opportunity to change the team. And even in the game, he had an opportunity to change the game. He should have left Ashley Young off and dragged Michalenko off. He should have left. He could have left. Put Brozier wide and Dom up front and go with a proper front three. But he doesn't. He's just stuck, and he'll always be stuck because this is the best he can be. And this thing about like edging 1 point at a time, well, that's fine, yeah. The bottom three as it is now will probably be the bottom three, but I'm not being funny. I ain't putting a bet on it. I ain't sitting here putting any kind of money on that. Because all it takes is one of them to go on a half-decent little run, like we've seen Wolves do in the last 3 games. And the next minute, they're breathing down your neck. And how do we react? We can draw games, yeah, we can draw games, but... Sorry, I'm just going to bin this Forest knob. So I'm yeah. The last 3 games took care of themselves, but that's pathetic. That today, it's not just about getting beat 2-0. We were. It could have been easily 3 or 4, easily. Pickford's had to pull off like 3 or 4 saves. Don't get me wrong. One of them he caused himself where he spilled the shot. But it could have easily been 3 or 4. And honestly, we could still be playing now and we wouldn't have scored. We were absolutely dreadful. 3 league games won all season. 8 wins in an entire year. I just don't understand how people put up with it. And the apathy that's in the crowd as well. You know, you've seen the ground empty with 5 minutes to go. I mean, if there's anyone from the Freaking group there today, just have a look at that. Have a look at the general atmosphere around the game. It's dead. People aren't asked going to match. There's no real, you know, I know Dyche is going, can do there's getting the fun. There's no fun factor while you're in charge. My missus said to me before, she said she can't bear him because he's took all the joy out of the last season at Goodison Park. It's absolutely garbage. People aren't going to match. People are getting off early. It's garbage, absolutely garbage. And I'm not sitting here and never gonna sugarcoat it ever. But he's fucking dross. Get rid of him now. Get rid of him now. There's a week till the next game. There's some home fixtures coming up. You've still got more than half of the season to go. Get rid of him. If that defense falls apart, then a new manager must be absolutely terrible. Oh, I'd honestly watch anybody but his football. I just hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's absolutely shite. You know, people who are picking up match tickets, £55 a ticket. It's fucking garbage. I'm just sick of it. I'm just honestly. And we're almost told. We're almost told to, like, be grateful. We're told to be grateful. Like, you can't do. I was listening on the way in on the radio and you were talking about Tottenham, talking about being 12th and saying that's unacceptable for Tottenham, but it's acceptable for Everton to be where we are. It's acceptable. So this fella's got the media wrapped around his finger, and honestly, there's only our fans can get rid of this fella. And I'm not asked. This is not a, like, I'm not sitting here driving a campaign. I just don't know how anyone thinks that's good. I know loads of people have said they're not going to go to away games anymore while he's still the manager, or go on, long trips. Um, I just, to me, I can't bear the football. I can't bear going the match under him. He has absolutely ruined the last season at Goodison Park for me. You go and there's just nothing about it at all. You just go. It's not going to get any better. As I said, he's relying on Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester games at home. And a couple of away games here or there that, and then getting points, getting 0-0s, probably against the likes of City at home, maybe Liverpool at home. It's honestly, I just, to me, I just don't understand how people can sit there and go, this is all fine. This is all fine. Or what do you expect? Or it's the players. The players are absolutely rubbish. They're all professionals. They're all professional players. If you coach them in the right way, if you coach them to play attacking football, and I'm not being disrespectful here, right? I'm not being disrespectful. But Sean Dyche, Ian Woan, and Steve Stone are not going to coach our team into being a decent attacking unit. They're just not. They're just not. So, right, I've had me moan now. I'm going to move on to the players. So let's get into it. Jordan Pickford, as I said before, some people might criticise him for the first goal. I think he makes a step forward, and then I'm not sure if he quite knew what his bearings were, but made some big saves in the second half. 5 saves, 3 in 1 go. The first one really should have kept hold of it, but he saves the next 2. Some of his kicking was a little bit all over the place today. I think he made another decent save late on, didn't he? When they broke away really late on. So I'd give him a 7 for today's performance. Ashley Young tried to get going, tried to get forward a little bit. Obviously got taken off. I wouldn't have took him off. I'd have put him at left back. I'd have dragged Mykolenko off. I really would have. In fact, I would have started Ashley Young at left back because I put that in my starting 11 show. I don't think he played particularly well today, but as I said, I wouldn't have started him at right back today, me personally. But yeah, Ashley Young, I give a 5.5 for today's performance. Mykolenko on the other side, I thought he was dreadful. We are in such desperate need of a left back. In fact, I think the reason he left him on was because he can attack more. I think because he can get higher up the pitch. I think that's why he left him on, personally. I just thought he was dreadful. I thought he just looked so weak. I thought his crossing's dreadful. I thought the second goal, the killer goal, was basically his fault. Given the not latching onto the Corey's pass and then not getting back into his own position. We need a new left back desperately. But you can see his heat map there. He was obviously getting into the final third late on and trying to put crosses into the box. He's just not good enough for me. He's just not good enough as a fullback. As I said, I thought he was far too weak today. And I think he needs replacing desperately. I think he needs replacing. It's just not good enough. Not Premier League level for me. He's a backup left back for me personally. That's my thoughts on it. I'll give him a 3 for today. James Tarkowski, the first goal, I have no idea where he is. He just doesn't see Chris Wood run into that space at all. He Yeah, he doesn't deal with it. Again, his booking, he's got this horrible little habit that's come into his game of overplaying and then thinking if he goes in like a dickhead, like that sorts it all out. He got booked for that one, and then once you're on a booking in the first half, you're under pressure there. So don't get me wrong, his stats are quite strong. 5 out of 7 ground duels, and 7 out of 9 aerial duels. But I thought the first goal was he just left that big space, and I can't I just hate that thing of like players trying to get themselves out of situations by being like going in on a big mad tackle. I don't get. He's done this before. I don't get it personally. I don't think you can do that in football anymore. I thought he was quite lucky. I think he's done this a few times now where he does those stupid. I just don't get it. I don't get it on that personally. I don't get it. So, as I said, I think his numbers are quite good, but it's those big moments. And as I said, the first goal was a big moment. He left the line, and Jared Brandtwaite has to come over, and then Michalenko has to come over, and it's left a big hole. So yeah, I'd give James Tarkowski a 5.5 for today's performance because of those mistakes. Jared Brandtwaite. Again, I don't think it's the Brandtwaite that we've seen last season. Aerial duels was tough for him today. He only won 4 out of 10 against Chris Wood, who is brilliant in the air. Won 2 of his 3 ground duels. As I said, I don't think he's quite there. Yeah, he looks a little bit tentative. Still don't think his passing is there. Still doesn't look quite up to it. You can tell didn't have a pre-season. Touches 82% pass accuracy. Yeah, I just don't think he's quite there, as I said. Did all right, but against Chris Wood brilliant in the air. So Jared Brandtwaite, I'd give a 6 for today. Mangala, again, we've got that 3 in midfield, which should be enough to allow us to play for the wide men and to play as a proper front 3, but we don't. They play, Decore and Mangala and Adesina Gay. I've plenty of touches today. Mangala 71% with 93% pass accuracy. Played a little bit higher today because just because they sat back so much. Just show you this heat map there. Normally he's just sitting in the back, in front of the back 4, but I think they played so deep that he could go, but didn't really have much of an effect on the game, to be honest. No key passes. No shots on target, 1 shot off target. Yeah, didn't really put his mark on the game at all. I would give him a 6. So just a kind of guy who went off for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which obviously was the sub I think we were all expecting at that point. Only 41 touches. Again, because the 3 of them are playing in the middle of the park, and none of them can. They're all doing a variation of the same job, and none of them really going to break down the opposition. So I would just kind of guy I would give a 6. The Corey, again, being the legs in there, being the players who has to drive forward, never really did that today. Key passes 2. No shots on target, no shots off target. I would give the Corey a 6 as well. Jack Harrison, garbage again, got pulled off at half time. Didn't do anything, just looked lost like he has in the last few games. If there's an opportunity to bring someone else on loan in January, I'd happily send Jack Harrison back to Leeds. He's just been rubbish this season. Absolutely rubbish. You can just see his heat map there. He's just got no end product, and he just seems to be getting worse and worse all the time. And as I said, I'd have had Jai on the right and Brozier on the left today, and had a proper front 3. Instead of playing in these weird wing backs. You watch the way they play, their forward players were always on the attack. Ours just sit in a line, so we had 5 in midfield across the line today. The tactics are garbage, but Alisson was terrible. He was absolutely terrible today. Just replaced at half time for Lindstrom. It's just he just doesn't offer anything, and he's so weak as well. And the manager has to. The manager, this again, the manager swapping and changing every game. Fucking make your mind up. Make your mind up on players, and decide what you want to do. Neither of them look. They're both like carbon. I mean, Lindstrom will let off because let him off exactly, but it's not his position. I mean, I don't think it's technically Jack Harrison's position either, but again, just force some plays into positions. Jack Harrison, I would give a 2. Njayu looked like the most likely again to unlock for us. Went on a great early run, but put it over the bar. And then after that, yeah, a few nice little cameos, but without really doing any great damage. Always looks like the player who's most likely to unlock, as I said. Dribble attempts 8, 4 successful, 2 shots off target. Crosses 3, but none of them were accurate. Yeah, he always looks like the most likely to break down the opposition. And you can just see his heat map there, cutting inside off the left-hand side. Again, could he play central, or is it just a case that if we played a proper front three and he could be right alongside the centre forward? Because that's what they did today as well. When every time Chris Wood won a header on nearly every time, there was a Forest player right there. When our centre forward wins the ball, there's never anyone around. There's never anyone there because the team are told to sit back because we're just so negative in our approach. And Jai would give a 7 for today. And Brozier, guess what? Another centre forward who, didn't do anything. Why didn't he do anything? Because there's nobody around. There's nobody around him. He's not going to win the ball in the air for you like Dominic Calvert-Lewin does. In fact, he was coming deep to try and pick it up, to take it on the turn. And then we haven't got a centre forward. No shots on target, 3 shots off target. Aerial duels won 4 out of 6, so quite good there. But never anyone round. What I would say is, you look at this, you can see his heat map there. He is all along the front line, and he's moving into deeper pockets, and he was going back. But it's the same problem. It doesn't matter who plays up front for us. He's the 3rd striker to play up front for us this season, and they all have the same problem. They're isolated. They're on their own. They are always on their own. They brought Dom and played next to them. Nothing, because clearly we do not work on playing on partnerships. We do not get men around. It's the same thing all the time. I've said this a million times. It does not matter who plays up front for Everton. Whilst these tactics are in place, it does not matter. You could be Ronaldo, and you could be Messi, and you could be Mbappe, you could be Salah, and you still probably wouldn't score goals in this team when the ball is being whacked at you. And you have to then bring other people, get it down, bring people into play who are 15 yards behind you. It does not matter. So it was difficult for Brozier today. He had to go, but it was difficult for him. I say the same about Dom. I say the same about Beto. It will not change while these tactics are being used. So Brozier will give a 6.5 for Brozier. The subs, Lindstrom came on. He had to go. She's heat map there, which is quite deep in the final third, to be honest. But he flashed a couple across. He worked hard a little, but there's no end product with him really. 35 touches. He done better than Harrison, don't get me wrong. 1 key pass. He done better than Harrison, but very, very little end product. 1 shot off target, 1 blocked. There's just no end product from either of the players. So Lindstrom, I would give a 6. Nathan Patterson came on. It's good to see Nathan Patterson come on, actually. Giving us that little bit of attacking endeavour, trying to get into the final third, trying to give us something else. It does still make me laugh when people say, not sure, and Nathan Patterson. Yeah, well, watch the left back. Watch the left back and tell me what the difference is. Crosses 4, 2 successful. 1 key pass. I thought he did all right when he came on. I'd like to see more of him. His heat map there, final third. And I know it was late in the game, and I know we were attacking, but look at that. Look where he is. I'm not saying he's the answer, but the point being is he's an attacking player who wants to be in the final third, because that's what fullbacks do now. Fullbacks now play in the opposition half, which means the player in front of them has to be higher, which gets your whole team higher up the pitch. You don't have fullbacks who sit in your own half. That's not what footballers do anymore. It's not how it works. You need energetic fullbacks who can get up and down. That's how modern football works. So Nathan Patterson, I'd give a 6.7 for his substitute performance. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin was on for the last 25 minutes or so. Shots on target 1, shots off target 1. Had a couple of runs, but again, just centre forwards in this team, they just get lost. There's like no point to them whatsoever. There's just no point to centre forwards in our team. It's just a pointless thing. So Dom, I'd give 6.2. And Beto as well, who had our only real shot that needed saving from a header from Jared Brantwaite, of all people, the cross. Again, put himself about, but we don't make chances. So what can you do? Centre forwards are just absolutely wasted at this football club. They're just wasted because of this tactics. It's pointless. It's pointless having them, personally. So I'd give Beto a 6.7 as well. Yeah, there we go. Let's have a little look. I had some super chats. Let me just do them. Thank you for everyone. David Murphy says, get this effing fraud out of our club. People are petrified that if we sack him, we'll go down. Tommy says, can't take any more of this. Can we afford to sack Dyche? Happy New Year. The question is, can we afford not to sack him? Really? I'd say anyway. Yeah. As I said, listen, it's just dreadful. I'm just sick of it. Those, as I said the other day, those games against the teams that were expected to get nothing and we get a draw out of, that's what you expect from Dyche. It's these games that matter. And I know Forest were 4th and now the 2nd. 100% get that. But you've got to try and beat them. Or don't try and beat them, or play like you do against the Chelsea and a Man City and an Arsenal and say, we're not going to go for it today. But if you're going to go for it, go for it. Instead of just going, oh, no, not quite sure. Yeah, there you go. It's crap. It is crap. There you go. Make sure to check out my Gladys Street reaction. Make sure to check out Baz's videos as well. We'll be doing the final word tomorrow on Toffee TV Premiere. Thanks for watching. See you later.